If you're watching this, you're a patron. Thank you. You're making my dream come true. Okay. That's up on the computer. And we're live. But no one's here. Oh, someone's here. Echo. Hello. Rose Nethercutt. Good morning, Hinch. Morning. Whereabouts in the world are you? It's nearly my bedtime. Nicole Sutcliffe. Comment hero, I know you. Ben Morton. Hello. Jessica Herbert. I know that name as well. Oh, Creighton Jeep. I know that name. Erin Fenwick. Leonardo da Vinci. Hello from Ireland. Nice. Yvonne's in the house. I was trying to keep up with the telephone screen. I should be looking on the computer. It'll be much easier. For Earth and Other Hot Potatoes is in the house. Oh, someone said something nice. Keegan Brady, love your video. Seriously, well, I love you for saying that. Oh, and I didn't thumb up my own stream yet. Do remember to thumb us up, guys, if you want to. If you want to be kind to a poor YouTuber. Zubal Dubal, hi from Newcastle's. Hello, I used to drink your brown ale back in the day. Very nice. Flat Earth, hi, Patricia Steer from Facebook. I always forget who people are on different platforms. I get confused. Houston. One of my clients went to Houston recently. Said it was very nice. Emily Cooper's in the house. I know that name. Edgar Velasquez. Jelma Schmidt. Mandy O. Mariah Stephen Anthony Jolly. Oh, Memphis. Wow. Lorraine Edie, I know that name. And Jeff Zup. KGB Brooks, you're hot. Oh, I say. I'll go all red. The Animal Liberation Ninjas, I like that name. Matty, hello from Seattle. Wow. Who did I used to watch on TV? Frasier. Was he in Seattle? That was a while ago. I've not watched TV for about, a few years. Do you know, I'm going to say 5 years. Yeah, pretty much since the YouTube thing. I've not played any consoles or computer games or watched TV. But I have got 1,000 videos out, so that's something. Rose is saying something funny, which I've got to allow. That's funny. Right, I've lost where I was. Max Musterman, wow, the famous Enjoyable live. Cheers from Germany. Thanks for joining, my friend, and thank you for the kind words. Edgar's in Texas. Melia, how am I pronouncing that? As in Las Vegas. A lot of Americans in today. Good to have you all on board. It's Avery Tommy. Check him out on the YouTubes. Lovely guy. Nikel is in Spain. I might be visiting Spain soon. Might go and see my friend Foot Soldier. He's down in Granada, don't you know? Well, this has just jumped. I hate it when this happens. I get lost. Well, that's just jumped like miles. Florida's in the house, New Jersey, New York. It's all Americans today. How interesting. Comment hero, been enjoying the Norwich. You're in Norwich, aren't you? Am I remembering that right? Or have I got that wrong? But yeah, it's been lovely. I went out, been ripping into some online plans for people today. It's how I sort of subsidise the YouTube. I've given up the PT now, which has freed up so much time. But yeah, had a little gap this Arvo. So me and Jem took a bike ride down to a local sort of park / woods, sort of a natural area. and just had a walk around there in the sun. It was actually warm enough to get the old shirt off, which is always a bonus for me. And met some lovely dogs and got some sun. It was really nice. Nice to be among trees and yeah, not just stuck indoors. Swizzy girl, hello Hench, just saw you on Joey's live stream. I love when Joey live streams. I do love a good live stream. And thanks for joining. Bohemian B, how are you, lovely? Oh, I've got to pop out. Oh, nice to see you, hun, albeit briefly. Janine Lay from Arizona. You're all Americans today. What's going on? Some sort of conspiracy. Echo or EKO, thoughts on the diet advice Freely gives out. I've not watched her for a long time, so I haven't really got any perspective, to be honest. I'm not a fan of like totally raw, although some people say they can make it work, and I'm not going to say you can't because I've not really tried. Although I did eat raw for the first couple of years, but it never felt great for me. Not like a more starch-based diet, but you know, I'm not going to say that people are lying or whatever. Just make sure that you're getting all your micronutrients is the only thing I'll say. Matty R's in the house, I know that name. Tommy Higson, hello, how are you? Recently had a blood test, my cholesterol is high, I've been vegan 2.5 years, why is it high? I'm going to imagine that you're eating too much fat, particularly the worst offenders will be coconut oil or like coconut milk, or if you're eating high amounts of coconut flesh, cocoa butter, so if you're eating any sort of chocolates, and palm oil, so if you're eating refined products. And someone like Caldwell Esselstyn, the only man him and who's the other guy to reverse heart disease? Come on, I know this. Dean Ornish. They would advocate a really low fat diet, like no more than about 11% of total calories. So that can be a thing as well. But any oil's not going to be great. I'll just stick to like a little bit of nuts and your seeds. Like we need some flax and chia seeds in there. But yeah, I'll get your fats down to no more than 11% of your total calories while you're battling that. And then other things you can do, stuff like garlic, hibiscus tea can, and there'll be other things as well. I'm not too clued up, but other things that can lower your blood pressure as well. Ari Marino's in the house. Oh, god damn. Lardo, will you ever fight Prem and Sverige from the Carnival? What do you mean, like a fist fight? Because I've sort of hung up my gloves, really, with this vegan thing. I'd rather not have to smash anyone to bits these days. Though I wouldn't back down from them. Edgar's in Dallas. Gary Reeves is in here. I know that name. Fridge. How am I saying that? I know that name as well. Good to have you here. Jamie Brown. I've been vegan. No, I wasn't vegan for 38 years. 38 years. I've now been vegan for 8 years. So I'll let you do the maths. Ari is in Puerto Rico. Wow, I love how many different places are represented from all around the world. It's really exciting. Yvonne, if I don't lose weight and I'm eating only plant-based, do you have any tips for what I'm doing wrong? You're eating too much. Yeah, it's calories in, calories out. I would say if you base your foods around legumes, whole grains, fruits and vegetables, really emphasize the low-calorie vegetables, particularly leafy greens, and only have a small amount of nuts and seeds. For most people, you probably wouldn't really need to count your calories. However, if that's what you're doing and, the weight's still not coming off, then you need to plug all your stats into a TDEE calculator, total daily energy expenditure calculator. It'll ask your age, sex, weight, height, A good one will ask you body fat percentage, which you can gauge if you don't know it. Look at online charts. And energy expenditure, and then it will tell you how many calories for maintenance, and then you want to take off 250, 500 calories from that. But if you're eating junk foods like processed foods and oils and sugar, refined, processed packaged products, like you can't, be surprised if you're not losing weight. Hope that helps. Stephen saying the iodine crisis for some reason. Get your seaweed in yet? Or an Lugol's solution iodine supplement. So like a little tincture, that's really good. Rose, I'm going to give you a rose when I meet you. Yay! I like roses. Pretty nails, long stuff. Am I miles behind, guys? Am I miles behind in the chat? I feel like I should probably skip forward slightly. Let's have a look-see. Yeah, I'm miles behind, guys. Every 10 minutes, I'm gonna skip forwards in the chat. If I miss your comment or question and you want to answer, just quickly pop it down again and then I'll get to it. Lisa Marie, do you have any vegan grey areas that others would think are controversial? Cheap Lazy Vegan described some which I disagree with, but she made intelligent arguments. What does that mean? Give me more... just a bit example of what you mean. Do you mean like, should you mow the lawn or whatever, but you might chop up some insects? In which case, our lawn is due cutting. We've not actually cut it since we've been here, but mostly we've not done it because we're lazy. Oh, Graven Babies is in the house, wielding a wrench. I appreciate that. Hummus Cake, what YouTubers do you follow? I don't watch a whole load of YouTube. I don't watch a whole load of vegan YouTube, simply because I just watched it for so long, and there's only so much of it. If you're not learning new things, then it gets a bit repetitive. I'll tell you who I do watch is people like Roberto Blake, Daryl Eves. Video creators, just channels that tell you how to grow your YouTube channel. That's the sort of thing I'm pretty interested in. GWV Plays, what's the best thing for omega-6? Nuts and seeds. Yeah, nuts and seeds, get them in you. And like a good quality nut or seed butter, I just remembered something. It's about that time in the evening where I take my CBD oil. I'd almost forgotten. Excuse me 1 second. Do you guys use CBD? Boom, 10. I'm just going to let it sit for a minute. Comment hero, yes mate, had a chat a while back when you were training with Paul Codling. Yes, that was it. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, Paul is such a nice guy. He was vegan years before me. Yeah, sort of keeps himself to himself, but he's just vegan in his own way. Holistic Vegans in the house. Mate, got one of the lads having some of my lentil curry tonight, converting anyone that can... Nice, good on you. Activism is so effective. B12 Blaze It Vegan, I'm about to lose at school. What does that mean? We've Magic in the house from Canada, very good. Oh no, I still don't get it. Okay, him trying to pronounce my made-up name was kind of hilarious. Yeah, that's the trouble with made-up names. You got no reference. Finland's in the house, very good. Chen went vegan at 38 too. Carlos brings up a good point. I'm so cute. I can't argue with you there. Halil is in Turkey. I've been to Turkey twice, one of the few countries I've even been to. Where did we go? Ojevek, is that somewhere? And then Aludini. Godonichia. Godinichia, Augustus, hello. How many long-term vegans do you know, and how long have they been vegan? And you're in India. The longest term vegan I know is my friend James, and he's been vegan since birth, and he's in his 60s. And he's a bit of a unit. He sort of did bodybuilding all his life. He can't really train now because of accident he had. But yeah, he looks like a beast. Real lovely guy. Real like alpha sort of male. But he just helps animals in every way that he can, like all the time. It's really his focus. Just a really nice guy. Helps to fund my channel in terms of equipment, and he's paid for me for a long while now to have a PR lady to help pump me out to different like media and stuff. So what a lovely guy. So that's the longest term one. He's in really good health. And then my friend Mike, who you might have seen the video, which I just posted this morning. Oh, that's the point. I need to repost my video. I won't worry about it just now. He's been vegan 35 years. He runs One Planet Pizza. Yeah, so they're the longest, and just both really well. He's a sort of endurance athlete. He's doing a marathon to raise money for Viva on the weekend. So that's not harmed him in any way. Rose is in Canada as well. Shanna wears, what would give you the best chance to walk again? I don't know. I need a bit more info on that. It depends what's happened to the person. Linda is in Sweden. Good to have you on. Jeff, thoughts on wheat gluten? Well, it cripples me, but my understanding is that anyone that doesn't have a problem with gluten, there are compounds, certain fibres and things that feed beneficial gut bacteria that you would then not be feeding. And it's best to have as diverse a microbiome as possible. So if you haven't got a problem with it, I don't think you should probably avoid it, from what I know. Yeah. Weeb Abu. Any thoughts on Ivor Cummins and Bart Kay? I don't know who Ivor Cummins is. Bart Kay, I can't stand him. He's like a sort of stroppy child, isn't he, how he communicates? I'm sure he wouldn't talk to people like that to their faces either. At least I hope he wouldn't. Right, well, this has just jumped a million miles. I just can't keep up. Al, what's up, bench, and what's your bench? I guess you meant to say hench. My best bench was 140 kilos. I'm just cutting at the minute, so just doing like cumulative fatigue, and obviously I've lost strength with my being on a cut, so I'm doing kind of a fraction of that really. But that'll be back up again soon. Oh, Tofu, Tommy's doing well. I did him a plan recently, so I'm glad to hear you're smashing it. Good man. Who's Isla Dawn? ZKY2. I know this seems like a stupid question, but should we count fibre as part of calories? So fibre in and of itself is 0 calories. However, some of our gut bacteria break fibre down into acetate, a short chain fatty acid called acetate. And I read somewhere that we can derive up to 15% of our calories from this acetate. So, but no, I don't know anyone that counts fibre towards their calories. Gary Reeves, my only question is, since I've been vegan, how come I've gained more muscle than I ever could before? That's very interesting. I think for like middle-aged and older athletes, I think it's a huge benefit. While we're younger, we can get away with eating like a rubbish diet. But it definitely benefits older athletes. I can't really tell from your photo. You don't look terribly old. But I think it's species specific. I don't think we're designed to eat meat and dairy. And yeah, that's my position on it. Fritz Animus. Is it possible for LDL cholesterol to go up a little past the healthy range from too little fat intake? What? Is it possible for LDL to go up a little past the healthy range from eating too little fat intake? The only things to raise LDL are sat fat, cholesterol, and trans fat. So the more of that you eat, the more you raise your LDL. Yeah, so you probably shouldn't worry. Miles behind, yeah, that's what I thought. Have you heard of the vegan professional wrestler Peter Dean? No, I think Graven Babies has spoken of him, though. Oblivion. Rose, what do you recommend for new vegan YouTubers? Check out video creators, Daryl Eves, Roberto Blake, Nick Nimmin is particularly good. And just learn the craft of YouTube, really, and what's important, like thumbnails, titles. It's got to be like attractive to for the human, for the viewer. And it's really the main two things you need to try and get are click-through rate, so that per impression, at least 8% of the people who are seeing the video are clicking on it. That's the first thing that will really drive the YouTube algorithms. And the second thing is audience retention. So you want people to ideally watch at least 60% of your video. If you get those two markers, then you can probably guarantee you'll get probably 7 times the views of a video where you don't do that. So that's very good. Mr. Lego Chicken, will you be going to the vegan camp? Yeah, I'm going to run the fitness camp. So come for a workout. Dev, love your channel. Cheers from Jerusalem. Nice. Nice. I heard the vegan scene's pretty good out there. Is that right? We did the weekly in. Nicole, can vegan food help a little bit with depression? Yeah. So some plant foods lower your monoamine oxidase. And so then you get more free serotonin and dopamine. So that's the chemical theory of depression. So things to emphasize are green tea, onions, grapes, berries, oregano, some of the sweet, sort of pungent, warm spices as well. I think like cloves and forgot the other ones, but those types of spices, you know what I mean, like the gingery type. Can't remember the others, sorry. But yeah, if you have more of those, by avoiding animal products, you won't be producing putrescine, cadaverine, and cresol, which raise your risk for depression and anxiety. There's about 15 things where whole plant foods benefit your mental health, and animal products do the opposite. So more antioxidants you can get in, the better, and more anti-inflammatory you can be, the better as well. Grey areas like secondhand leather. So this couch might be leather. It was here when we got here. Don't know if it's fake or real. And we don't plan on living here long. I don't really want to buy a new sofa. It's going to be more of a burden on the resources, you know. But certainly as leather things wear out, obviously, like I don't then buy like leather and whatever. Second-hand leather. Yeah, I wouldn't. I think it's sort of promoting it and sort of making it more normalised. So I say no. Beginner to end. Hey, Hench, I'm new to the channel. Welcome aboard. What are the most calorically dense foods that are vegan and that you would recommend? So the most calorically dense food is oil, which you don't want to be eating that. That will raise your risk for, terrible disease as much as some animal products. So really, legumes, whole grains, tropical and dried fruits, and then like an amount of nuts and seeds as well. You don't want to go overboard with those. And then the more processed stuff like tofu's okay, tempeh, maybe seitan, if you're not gluten intolerant, be my recommendations. Oh, that's a bit of a deep question. L. Buchanan, do you believe an inability to understand nuance is the problem? Is most people's problem with the vegan argument, or are most people arguing dishonestly? I think the main thing is the approach of the vegan, and I think if we can learn to connect and be empathetic with the person, and be sort of non-judgmental and learn to communicate more by asking questions rather than like telling, I think people will be much more open and much more easy to persuade. Right, I bet I'm miles behind, aren't I? I'm going to skip forwards. Do comment if I miss your question. Vegan poll, Mama Hench, do you ever eat, oh, it's gone off the screen, junk foods? I try not to. I don't really enjoy to. I don't feel great like if I do it. You know, I have an obvious negative like feedback. Yeah, so, you know, I was out and about the weekend. I went to the Viva 25th anniversary. You may have seen the video. And luckily, I managed to eat all whole foods. There may have been a little oil in some of it, but it was quite undetectable to me. So I'm going to say probably there wasn't a lot if there was any. So I ate some great raw Caribbean food. I had 2 huge servings of that. Oh, I had some really good Indian food. There may have been some oil in there. But other than that, it was all whole foods. And yeah, I'd just rather not, you know, cheat meals, you know, I say, who are you cheating? And as Dr. Clapper says, like, your body is never not looking. So, yeah, that's my theory on that. And then when you eat junkier foods, which are often like hyper palatable, then you don't enjoy like your salad and your kale and things. And that makes it hard. And then you're low on nutrients. And then you end up on a spherage video. Autism, the hedgehogs in the house. I know that name from other streams. That's a cool name. Oh, Coombs54. Thoughts on sauerkraut? It's great. Don't get pasteurized because it kills the bacteria. Try not to overload on salt, probably. But a good sauerkraut can have up to 640 to 700 beneficial different strains of gut bacteria. You know, the Prevotella strains that we need to flourish. And you know, a good probiotic might have 6 to 8. So, yeah, really good. Get it in you. Oh. What? Someone with just an underscore as a name, but you look very familiar. Hi to you. Thanks for joining. Mike, that is good food. Well done. Gibbles mush. My stomach really bothers me if I eat banana, apple, almonds or carrots. Has anyone heard of that? I'm scared of nuts because of this. I don't have a doctor. So if people have a problem with nuts, often it's tree nuts, and almonds are not so bad, I don't think. But, you know, anything that is giving you a reaction, I'd say just skip it. But just try other, you know, other foods. Raven, all of the shopping places you've been to, like Tesco, Asda and Sainsbury's, which one have more and better vegan food? I think that Morrison's seemed to be the best one. They had a good range of produce and they had lots of specialty items. Yeah, so I'm going to say Morrison's. I'd like to do more food haul videos, but the trouble is we're really trying to cut back on plastics, you know, ideally eliminate them. So that's really hard. So we get our produce now from a local delivery company, and they just do it direct. There's no, they just use paper bags or it's all loose, so that's much better. Mike James hasn't eaten oil for 6 months. Good on you. How are you feeling on that? Lisa, do you think it's okay to eat pasta and bread? If it's not got like additives, like not so bad, but you're still grinding the whole grain down into a fine powder, which you're going to absorb more through the small intestine, and there'll be less, you know, to get to the large intestine to feed you beneficial bacteria. So I wouldn't do it all the time. Vegan Tiff, I agree. Herman, does tallow have any vitamins? I'm wondering the vegan alternative. So that's beef fat. It's probably got some vitamins, but I just eat a range of whole plant foods, and save for B12 and D3, all my vitamins are there. So I don't know many people that, well, I suppose some people eat it, don't they? I suppose a lot of people eat it. Yeah, but you know, when the vitamins come in the preformed animal version, like retinol and, you know, cholesterol, arachidonic acid, like they cause harms. Heme iron is terrible for our health. So, you know, you just want to be eating the plants. Get on Chronometer, put in a day's worth of eating, and make sure you're hitting all your micronutrients. And, you know, supplement with a D3 in the winter months and a B12 on the daily, and you'll be golden. D203, what's your opinion on Dr. Gregor? I'm a huge fan. He's my hero. One of my few heroes I've not met yet. Hope to rectify that one day. EKO, try getting tested for SIBO candida. Yeah, if you've got gut issues, I didn't really mention that because you said you didn't have access to sort of a doctor, but yeah, you can get online tests. They're not cheap. But yeah, SIBO candida, organic acids, bacterial infection, you know, like a stool test. Did I say oxalates? What's the other one? I think there's no. If you go on Goji Man's channel, he does all the tests for cost. And then you can either sort of see the results for yourself, see if you can decipher like the problem and how to treat it, or you can do a consultation with Goji Man and he'll tell you exactly how to do it. I worked with him for my SIBO issue and I feel great, so I can highly recommend him. I'm seeing him the weekend. He's coming down to Norwich and we're going to hang out on Saturday, and then Sunday we're going to a vegan party. Yeah, if you guys are anywhere near Norwich, there's a party on Sunday, 11 a.m. till about 6 in Trouse, Redwell Brewery. Looks good. Come and say hi. Autism, what's a good vegan D3? I don't know. I don't have any real preferred brands, to be honest. I just go with whatever's good, you know, for a good price at the time. Mimi, I take CBD. I love its anxiolytic properties, so it's great for confidence. I notice it for public speaking, but just general, anyone who's like got a bit of anxiety, it tends to clear it up. It's great for sleep as well. And then most people notice a huge benefit if you've got pain in the body. One of my former clients was a cancer survivor and she swore by it while she was being treated for that. And exercise recovery. You know, it's very anti-inflammatory, but for me, I think I eat such a good diet that I don't have any inflammation, so I didn't notice any benefit there. Most athletes swear by it though. Leslie, that Caribbean food looked delicious. It was so good. Lorraine, we once bought a second-hand faux leather sofa and chairs. Looked like a real thing. Problem is our cat ripped the hell out of it. Yeah, our cat's doing the same thing. That's another reason why we don't really want to get another one. Beginner to end, you're very welcome. Which fruits do you consider to be the most nutritious? Berries are the most antioxidant rich. To be honest, most fruits are a bit low in minerals, so I think it's better to emphasise vegetables. But maybe like little serving of fruit at most meals, so you're taking advantage of like food synergies. All the different foods are all working together, and nutrients in one food will amplify the health benefits of nutrients in other foods, so you get more for more bang for your buck kind of thing. The green life, does estrogen affect weight gain? Yeah, I think it raises it, doesn't it? Yeah, I would imagine so. And I think weight gain affects estrogen as well. So, like, the more fat cells you've got, like, I think estrogen becomes more of a problem. Don't quote me, I'm not an expert on hormones, but that's what I believe I heard. I'll tell you who's good for hormones. It's Mike Marler. He's another vegan nutritionist, world-class strength coach as well. He's got a podcast. Forgot the name of it. Live Life Aggressively podcast. Yeah. He's really good. He's on Instagram as well. Mike, Mahler. Real good guy. Yeah. And you end up on this Ferridge video. Florian, yeah, I take protein powder. I take a couple of scoops of a Vivo Life. I think that's the best one on the market by far. I've tried them all. I'm actually an ambassador for those. So link in the description with a discount code. For the masses, you don't need to take a protein supplement just because I'm larger than your average bear and I don't just want to be eating lentils all day. You know, I want some variety in my diet. Shanawaz, how could you chelate heme iron from the blood? Stop eating it. Jem, yes? What are you doing? Everyone wants to know where the voice from beyond has gone to. Oh God. Get your hand in there, in the frame. Here she comes. The voice from beyond.
Hi everyone.
Oh, it's just jumped again. Sorry guys, I disappeared. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm sure I'll find my place in a minute. Raven, what kind of vegan food has more B12? Anything that's been fortified, else it won't have any. Plant milks and nutritional yeast spring to mind, but you know, you're better off taking a dedicated supplement, you know, particularly if you eat a different range of foods each day. Why does this keep jumping? Vegan brain, yeah, I do smoothies, typically at breakfast. I like some oats, some dates, some berries or some tropical fruits, flax and chia seeds, sometimes a little bit of vegetables in there. I'll put in some protein powder as well. Sometimes I'll put beans in there instead, like a white bean that won't notice. As long as the smoothie's nice and sweet tasting, like you won't notice it. You can put your powders in there like amla, you know, which is really high in antioxidants. And I often put seaweed in there as well, which again, it just gets masked by the delicious sweet fruit. What is your body fat percentage? I don't know. It's not great, but it's getting down. I don't know. What do you think? 15? I don't really know. We got a machine at the gym that is meant to test body fat, but it said I was 21% at the start of my cut, and I had visible abs, so I'm not sure that I believe it. Oh no. Florian, oh sorry, flexitarian Claire. What do you think of high carb Hannah's diet? I've not looked, so I'll take a look. I'm thinking about doing a series of you know, vegan nutritionist reviews people's diets. I mean, I don't really want to criticize current vegans. But maybe if they're doing something really daft, you know, especially after the raw Varna thing. So yeah, I did raw Varna and Sverige so far. like reviewing like a day of eating and seeing what nutrients they were lacking, and then they were both atrocious. So yeah, let me know who you want to see. I probably will do some. I'm thinking of doing Bobby's perspective and Tim Sheaf, just so that people can see why, you know, they went wrong. I had a look at both of them already, and like a couple of their days, like they were, just stupid. Florian is trying to bulk. Yeah, so yeah, if you're struggling to get enough calories in, 1 or 2 scoops of protein, you know, it's not a whole foods, but you know, if you're eating the vast majority whole food, I don't see that as particularly like harmful. Seven Spirits, do you think nuts like walnuts and almonds lower testosterone? I think whole plant foods like just benefit you. Oh, you didn't want to take supplements? Yeah, so you might not need to. You know, if you're eating enough legumes, whole grains, quinoa is particularly good for a whole grain. And then like things like tofu, tempeh, seitan. Yeah, you probably don't need to. It's just like total calories, and you know, making sure you're getting enough protein as well. So for it, you know, the best studies we have really seem to say about 1.6 to 1.8 grams of protein per kilo body weight. So if you're hitting that without a protein powder, you know, don't bother. Navaria, CBD oil looks really expensive. Is taking the pills give you the same effect? I didn't even know there were pills. So passed. Unless that's like an oil capsule. Yeah, I've never heard of it or tried it, so I couldn't comment. Floating hand. Just shut the door. House vibes. Love to. Oh no! Why does this jump? What am I doing wrong? Well, this is frustrating. Wow, miles behind again, aren't I? Sorry guys, I just lost my place. Wow. Totally lost. There we go. Love to see you live again. Yeah, I'm glad to be back. And the people in the chat missed it, got to go. Oh, see ya. Vegan tips in the house. Leonardo, what's your opinion on soya mince or TVP? I don't know a whole lot about it. I tried it when I first went vegan. I was really hungry and I made this curry with like little pieces. So that would have been like a chicken curry or whatever. And it reminded me of meat too much and I had to throw it down the toilet. So I've not used it again. Is it just defatted like soybeans? In which case, you know, you're losing some of the nutrition. Hopefully they're not putting any additives in. So, you know, processed food can be good stuff taken away or bad stuff added or both. So hopefully it's only the good stuff taken out. And again, if it's a way to bump up your protein, you're eating a abundance of whole plant foods, you know, that's not going to kill you, is it? I might just skip forward again, guys, because I'm conscious I'm miles behind. And when I watch a live stream, I do prefer the streamer to be a bit more up to date. Ray Sleeve is in the house. Thanks for joining, brother. Really appreciate you. Florian, what do you think about lots of oats? Any problems that could arise from eating lots? I'm eating 150, 200 grams in the morning. Going fresh, since I only sprout right. It's taste. Weird. Yeah, great. Get it in you. Yeah, that should be fine. It's high in protein. Is it like 10 grams of protein per 100 grams? It's good stuff. It's got lots of beta glucans as well, which really boosts our immune function. Really, I think that lowers cholesterol, doesn't it? That's one of those foods as well. So that's a great one to put in. Rachel, can your partner recommend any vegan products to combat dry hair? She's gone, or I'd ask her. Why does it jump? Why does it jump? Ari, I don't understand how people get too much fibre. I feel like I can't get enough. Yeah, I think in a healthy gut, like it's probably, I'm not going to say it's impossible to overdo fibre, but like I eat 160 grams, no problem. Fossilized paleo poo, coprolites, they suggest that a lot of Paleolithic men ate 150 grams a day. Modern tribes people often can eat up to 150 grams of fibre a day. And, you know, it's only the fibre that feeds our good gut bacteria that creates short-chain fatty acids. So that tells you something right there, because that is the key to good health. That's where it all starts, guaranteed. I think the trouble is when people have been eating differently historically, and then they try to put a load of fibre in, they've got none of the Prevotella strains to process it. So there's a lot of gas and pain and dysbiosis, and they say, oh, my body can't handle it. But, you know, it's a bit like having a zoo full of purely carnivores, dumping a load of fruit in there, and then all the fruit goes bad, and you think, oh, there's something wrong with my zoo. The animals that you've invited to live in there. It's the bacteria that you've invited to live in your gut. So the key is to take out some of your older foods without the fibre, and over the weeks put in more of the fibre-rich, healthy foods. Bingo. Strong vegan yogi. Hello from Chicago. It is all Americans tonight. This is very lovely. Any advice for retaining muscle? Triathlon training, nice. So yeah, don't try to lose body fat too quickly. If you're doing a fat loss, really 0.5 pound to 1 pound is what the American College of Sports Medicine recommends. Any more than that, and you risk, you know, burning lean tissue off, lowering your metabolism, ending up skinny fat with, you know, with nowhere to go. You know, and I guess you want to be doing some training that stimulates your muscle. You know, if you're doing purely like endurance, you know, perhaps you're not doing anything for your upper body and things. So perhaps like just a minimum of some kind of strength training, particularly on your upper body. The Eric, can you clarify what anti-nutrients are, or anti-nutrients? Yeah, good old Sverige. Yeah, so there's certain things, aren't there? Phytic acid, oxalates. There are others. And yeah, if you like really overdo that, lectins as well. If you really overdo them, like you can run into potential problems. I think it's rare though. And I think that a lot of them are destroyed by cooking, particularly lectins are virtually destroyed by cooking. So there shouldn't be any lectins in beans really. And actually the science is starting to suggest phytates, for instance. What is the rule? Phytates, we don't produce them. We can get sort of disease within our body if we don't have them. Phytates raise with ingestion and lower when we stop ingesting them. And the ingestion of them combats these diseases. So actually, technically, phytates should be classified as a vitamin. So they're actually like essential to the diet, is looking like. So yeah, so that we really need to kind of re-look at that. And the other thing is, you know, say you've got some oxalates and they bind to calcium or whatever. Well, you know, how much phytates you've got and how much calcium. Like I eat about 1,600 milligrams of calcium a day. So I've never paid attention to foods. You know, I eat beans, which have lectins. I eat spinach, chard, you know, which has oxalates. I eat stuff with phytic acid. And every time I've had blood's drawn, my vitamin and mineral levels are all at the very top of range, except for B12, which is too high, but that's water soluble, and I'd just taken a tablet. So what do you expect? It doesn't matter. So yeah, don't worry too much. Maybe don't go mad and just smash down spinach. But like, I wouldn't worry about a cup or two a day. However, so having said all that, I had that SIBO test. I had an organic acids test, and it seems that I did have a problem with oxalates. I tried taking out like high oxalate foods. I noticed no difference. Put them back in, noticed no change again. Goji Man reckons that the oxalate issue should take care of itself. Once I'd combated the SIBO issue, which hopefully I have done. I'm going to be retested soon to find out, but I'm feeling good. So no problem there. So yeah, if you have problems with certain plant compounds, usually it's because there's a problem in the gut, like in the first place. Faniel Ancient, thank you for doing these videos. Thank you for watching and being so kind to say that. Well, I'm just miles behind again, aren't I? Oh, this is bad. Talked about fibre. Kat, the vegan artist. Hi, lovely. How are you? Long time no see. Up to visit Norwich sometime during the last 2 weeks of September with boyfriend and a friend. We get to meet up if you're available. Yeah, shoot me a message nearer the time. Email me is best because I don't get a chance to see my DMs anymore. I'm so inundated with them. henchhebber@yahoo.co.uk. I'll be honest, I'm really busy still. I've given up my PT, which is lovely, but I'm kind of busy trying to get up to 4 videos out a week, and I'm still doing online plans and things, so I can't promise anything. But if I'm feeling really up to date and it's particularly sunny or something, I may be tempted into coming out. So yeah, do get at me, bro. Nice to see ya. Bryce, tips to a healthy vegan heart. Well, you're already avoiding most sat fat. If you're at Whole Foods, you're avoiding all trans fats. If you're eating palm oil and things, coconut oil, you'll be getting some. What am I on about? Sorry, I just had a brain fart. Basically, you need to eat whole foods. If you eat processed foods, you're not going to get cholesterol because that's only in animal products. But you can get the long chain triglycerides, you know, the saturated fat associated with heart disease. And you can get trans fats if you're eating junky foods, like I say, oils and things. And particularly like margarine type stuff. But trans fats do occur in the oil making process as well, we now know. So yeah, whole plant foods for the win. Particularly avoid coconut oil, cocoa butter and palm oil or palm kernel oil. Other than that, get some exercise. If you want to improve your blood pressure even more, things like hibiscus, tea, onions, oats, stuff like that. Do you prefer bodybuilding or powerlifting? I've only ever done bodybuilding. Powerlifting's impressive in terms of moving weight, but it's very sort of specific. And I don't like the sort of figure that it creates. I guess I'm more of a physique athlete. I think if you do powerlifting and you do some accessory stuff as well to balance everything up, like you can still get a good physique. But I'd rather put all my effort into that. No oil. JS, what is cholesterol used for? I think it's like energy transportation. It is a constituent of the membranes of all our cells. It does a few things. I'm not hugely up on it. It probably does quite a few things. But, you know, we make all the cholesterol we need from a compound that we produce called acetyl coenzyme A. You know, we make what we need and we don't make extra to give us heart disease, the #1 killer of humans. Whereas if you eat exogenous cholesterol, trans fats and sat fat, you know, you're going to raise your LDL, which is the only critical risk factor for heart disease. Kills every third Westerner, affects 1 in 2. So people eat lean meats like fish, prawns as well, thinking they're low in cholesterol. Prawns have more cholesterol than beef. And the fact of the matter is, as I say, it's in the it's not really in the fatty parts of the animals, not to a large degree anyway. It's actually part of the membrane of the lean tissue. So the more lean tissue you eat, the more cholesterol you're going to get. Cholesterol is not as bad a raiser of LDL cholesterol as trans fats and sat fat, but it does raise it, and we don't want to be eating exogenous. Not if we want to live a long, happy, healthy life. How are we doing for time? Okay, we're just about there. I'll just skip forwards and see what anyone's saying. Healthy species. Yeah, that video by Mike the Vegan on trimethylamine was amazing. That's, that tells you something about what you're meant to be eating, doesn't it? When your foods are containing carnitine and choline in huge amounts, and it gives you so many diseases. I do, as much as I cheek these carnivore eaters, in my videos and things, like that's not really me, and I do feel sorry for them, and they are really hurting themselves. So there'll be tears before tea time. Anyway, I think I better rock and roll. I need to have some dinner, but it's been really nice seeing you all. If you're new here, I'd love to have you become part of the Hench Herbivore community by by subscribing and clicking the bell icon so you're notified of new videos, new live streams.